This is the Musketeer Coaches Show, and it's right here on Fox Sports Radio 620 KMNS. And it's brought to you by Bob Rose Point After. It's where good times gather. Also brought to you by Knife River and Sioux City Ford. On the line, he's making some travel plans. He wants to go watch some hockey in between games. Luke Strand, the head coach of the Sioux City Musketeers. And we got 3 games to talk about this past week. We got healthy players to talk about this week. Maybe more health and huge doubleheader in Kearney. Coach, before we even talk about any game, it's crunch time, baby.
Oh yeah, it is. I mean, I think one, our health to your point is coming around, and 2, now we got to put the band back together and make sure everyone's playing the right instrument. Because some guys had to do some other jobs while guys were out. That you got to get them back to doing the roles that they're responsible, accountable for.
Let's talk about the games. You did get one victory out of it. That was the Saturday. We'll start with Friday against the under-17s. Hard-fought battle. I mean, I thought that was played well. I mean, what did you see on film?
No complaints about our play, actually. I think we, as a group, I thought we built momentum to the game. Maybe a little bit of herky-jerky maybe in the beginning, getting some guys, like I said, back to, 1, a personal rhythm of playing, but 2, just our team rhythm. So that was part of it. But then as the game progressed, we got better and better. I thought the possession time was good, and I really thought it led into a very, very good game on Saturday. But either, of course, you got to find a way to win when you're on a Friday night, when we didn't, without a referee in the factor, it can't really matter.
Well, I was going to say, if you look back, can you at least get a point for a tie or something like that?
Well, yeah, that's when you count goals. But when you don't count goals, then it gets tougher to do. But we've got to just manage a way that's not a factor. And currently, if you've been at the games, it's I think there's been some iffy at best calls being made, but we've just got to put ourselves in a better position where, okay, if that team's going to do that and that's how it's going to turn out by the black and white team, we have to put ourselves in a better spot so we're not put our back against the wall and counting on them to do any favor. Yeah,
and I understand that, and that's what you have to do to push ahead. But I guess the other one, too, a big factor is the under-17 team is quality, and they counterpunched you, too.
I think they're very good. I mean, Seth's a good friend of mine there, the coach, and just, you play that 17 team in October versus March, you're playing a completely different group. As far as time spent, their team, they're forming a group there. They're going to be together for 2 years. There is no trade deadline problem. There's just no issue on that side. So I think it's a quality team, very skilled, very talented group, and anything you give them, they have the ability and the speed and skating to really take care of that advantage.
Well, talking Musketeer hockey here on Fox Sports Radio, we're talking about the weekend and those big plays, or those monster plays, and we can talk about that for Friday and for Sunday. Giving up a shorty is so crucial.
It's a bad combination. Obviously, a team of their skill level, you just, every time you give them an ounce of air, they stay afloat longer and longer. And so the bigger the mistake, the miscue that they take advantage of, there's more it stings. And obviously, shorty is a prime example of that.
Yeah, I thought it was a good game Friday. Then you go into Saturday. We're talking Musketeer hockey. You play the same team again. What positives? What did you do different on Saturday that you eliminated a lot of their offense?
I thought that their D, we were smart. We put pucks behind them. We pressured them. We made their D go back to over 60 pucks in the game, which is a lot of pucks. Then all of a sudden, I think you start to wear maybe a younger group down, and then you take advantage of it. But as well as we were playing there for majority stretch of the game, the score was 1-0, which is too close to play against a skilled team to leave a striking distance still available.
Yeah, it really is. But that one goal, it's kind of funny. It's the old adage. Apparently, if the family of Millers are in town, Matt Miller is going to score, and he did it 3 straight nights.
Well, I've got about 8 weekends of the regular season where they should live here. That's the case. I thought Matty was. I thought his whole weekend performance was very exceptional. He played center, a position that he hasn't played a lot of. He scored the 2 power play goals there on Friday, Saturday on almost the exact same play, and I think both give us a huge leg of life there because they're both crucial timing goals.
Yeah, it seemed like playing center has given him a boost.
I think he's big, he's rangy. When he gets to play inside the dots, he's not getting pinched down on by their Ds. A big guy that can already skate well, but you are able to maybe just keep your feet going and keeping your momentum going around the rink. Defensively, he's big and strong, so he gets stops that way and starts into offense. Impressively, maybe the most impressive is when he came out of the corner, he was able to use both sides of the stick and get exits, which is a hard thing for a guy that normally is a wall player, wing player.
I'm not talking Musketeer hockey. We're talking about the weekend. The second goal was a crucial one, and I think even going into the period to go, whoever scores next might win this game. That was the case. And Bobby Brink, you talk about a highlight goal. That was just nasty.
It's goofy. Bobby's one of those players. Bobby I thought actually was playing well. But he was quiet on the score sheet. So then people are like, well, how much is he doing? And actually, he just causes so many things that happen. Almost a domino effect, because if he's doing well, you've got to double up on him. That leaves someone else available. If you're already doubled up on him, you're counting for someone else to score to maybe get some of that pressure off them. And then for an individual performance, that goal was crazy. A forecheck turnover by himself, able to go right and beat a D single-handedly. And then I think just the poise to not, a lot of players that beat the D and be like, whoa, that was unbelievable. And now just shoot it into the goalie. And Bobby, because he's so talented, he'll be able to hold that puck long enough with the basically collapses and he plays over the top of him.
That was pretty awesome. And then put a couple cherries on the top. First is Seibel making the stops he needed to. And then the second one, how about Malky giving up an empty for his teammate and a brand new teammate?
I think it's kind of one, it defines Malky for sure. A pretty consummate teammate about what he is there, emptying that goal, slides it over the Boyer to our new guy who also I thought was very, very good. I thought him and Devlin were good all weekend long. Just a character play, I think, on Malky's part, and you can't say enough about Sibes. I mean, Sibes Saturday was, I found him demanding, I found him controlling. I thought there was poise in his game, very competitive, and obviously timely, because he did make a couple stops there where the score was 1-0, and he left it at that 1-0 mark.
You started Seibel on Sunday. You did pull him. I don't know. Your thoughts? I thought he kind of got held out to dry, especially on maybe a bad call,
For me, it's a mercy, a little bit. I don't think – obviously the first goal is a penalty that they score on. It's a non-call. We've already vacated the zone. They take down grounds. They throw it back to our net where there's a player empty, standing there. So breakdown on every fold of it, from the non-call to the defensive responsibility, staying, behind the play, keeping players above you. And then he's, let out 1-on-0 at the net.
Yeah.
I can't, there's just moments in hockey games where I think your only maybe hope for a change of progressive in the game is to just do that, to take the goalie out and get your team to, buck up to something bigger than itself, but a new goalie.
Yeah, and that's just it. So Crosby comes back in, does a fine job. It was a battle. What makes Sioux Falls so good? They have right now, that's been your toughest matchup of the year.
I think they're big. I think they skate. I do think they've been fortunate. I mean, I think if you look at the goals, we definitely have to clean up our special team play against them. The idea of power plays and shorties on that group. I think there's that side of things. Their goaltending for me it's been doable. I don't think it's been spectacular as much as they are a very suffocating team with the way they play. So their goaltending only has to. They've scored a lot of goals, so they might give some goals up, but they've scored a lot.
You look at it, and that was specialty teams. What was it a breakdown on you guys, or was it they do something well specialty wise? Because that was the factor.
I think they've done it all year well. They're very selfless in their puck movement. I think they're very aggressive in their shooting, and they play with a puck recovery mindset where they win races, and then if they are tied, they just keep it moving. So when you're in the middle, you get caught in between pressure and then them having puck control again. So, in those moments, you need your goalie to be the best penalty killer, and you need the guys in front of your goalie to be the most committed players on the group on the ice. And I think when you're chasing the game, as we were, and the other teams on the power play, I think there's some drifting minds at times that want to try to get a goal, and instead of being patient and knowing that the penalty kill, like actually not letting them score, is as much advantage to anything as scoring.
Well, it's a tough loss. Obviously, it's in the loss column. Everyone's a big factor down the stretch. Altogether, Coach, you had to feel pretty much better with some guys back in the lineup, especially your team captain. 7.5 weeks is an eternity.
Yeah, I thought John's, to your point, the timing, the extent of the injury, for him to come back, he managed his minutes pretty well Friday, Saturday. I thought you saw a kind of a tired version of him on Sunday,
sure,
as you should after 7.5 weeks off. That's just, it was for sure a bright side. I thought the addition of Boyer was for sure a bright side. And moving Millsy to center gave us a shot in the arm that way. I thought Devin McCabe continued to find ways to impact the game with his stick in his brain. And now, now at the other side of this, it's that time of year where your best players have to be best players, have to be best players, and have to be best players over and over. The one beauty of the schedule, which is very tough in front of us, is the idea that to do what we want to be doing, we have to be playing the best hockey we can at the right time of year, and this is going to force us.
We'll find out starting coming up on Friday and Saturday at Tri-City. Let's take a break, and we'll come back, and we'll talk some more Musketeer hockey here. It's the Musketeer Coaches Show. It's right here on Fox Sports Radio 620, KMNS Sioux City. Well, this is the Musketeer Coaches Show. It's at Bob Rose Point After, where good times gather. Wings and all the pizza and everything else, and great atmosphere. We are talking Musketeer hockey. It's also brought to you by Knife River, also brought to you by Sioux City Ford. On the line is Luke Strand. He is the head coach of the Sioux City Musketeers. We're going to gear up for a trip to Kearney, Nebraska, Friday and Saturday. They take on the Tri-City Storm. They play them 7 times. Well, this is going to be game number 2 of the season on Friday. Before we go there, you're going to have the opportunity, and that's what you're doing right now, to sneak out of town to see some good young talent up to the north.
Yeah, you know what? The Minnesota State tournament's going. We've got multiple players playing in the tournament that are our affiliates already. Obviously, list of players that are playing in the tournament already that is good to get your eyes on, and at the same time try to get the Biondi family convinced to get down here and get going with us as well. Yeah,
that was going to be where I was going to lead to, is we play the game every week. Who's here, who's not, who's playing, who's not. How about affiliate players? Who do you expect for this coming weekend, either to suit up or at least be down in Sioux City?
Yeah, we'll have Christian Jimenez, and Christian's a defenseman committed to Harvard, out at Taft Academy, out east, left shot D, very power play explosive, talented young player who will be here with us next year. He's coming out here for a couple weeks, which will, get him through the paces of a couple weekends of games. So Christian will be out here. We've got, hopefully Blake Biondi joins us this weekend up front at forward, and that'd be give us some more balance up front. And then obviously getting Pospisil back in the lineup off parole for Saturday night.
Yeah, and that's coming up on Saturday. How about Dominic Vidoli?
I think he's going to be very close. I think we would rather care the side of safe than for the side of hurry up. It's been a reoccurring injury, so we're just trying to really, if we just feel if we can give him one more week, one more strong week of practice next week, probably go a very long ways with the injury, and not only with the injury, but with the other side of it, hopefully keeping him back in the lineup for good.
How's Bake's injury coming along?
Bake skated yesterday, straight line skating for the most part, but not much lateral movement quite yet. So, this could be another 3-week process, no problem, of just skating and ramping and doing things that way, and then really make a educated decision as far as okay, what has this done for atrophy for his strength in his legs.
Mm-hmm.
As much as he's been in the gym and he's rehabbed hard, he's worked very hard at it, like a young player that's trying to make himself better. You have a setback like this, it rips a lot of your timing out, rips a lot of your endurance out. So just gonna be on the smart side of things, I think, with Bakes here on this whole side of it too.
Let's go back to Martin Pospisil. His first game back is coming up on Saturday. I guess, how excited is he, and are you going to be able to hold him from being out on the ice for about a 5-minute shifts?
Oh man, Curtis, we're ecstatic. I'm hoping he's not the bull that wants to come out of the chute that's been rubbing this hoof on the ground and be right back into trouble. So we've all had some interesting conversations about him, his career, what it means. Obviously he's tough, and obviously he plays hard, and obviously he's makes a lot of direction happen in our lineup with the way he plays and how he plays. But the biggest thing now is going to be that he's on the ice once he gets back into our lineup.
Well, looking for full status or very close to it, at least by Saturday. We're talking Musketeer hockey here on Fox Sports Radio, 620 KMNS, and game time. Hey, is that a 7:30 on Friday? I'm looking ahead.
You're asking the wrong guy, Curtis.
Okay, we'll be there by 5. How about that? And we'll figure it out from there. I think
we'll be there about 10 to 5. I kind of think it is a 7:30 on Friday, if I remember right. And then, obviously, the following weekend in Bloomington there on that Sunday is a 4 o'clock game Central Time on that Sunday.
Well, perfect. Okay, so we got those ahead of us. Now let's talk about the Tri-City Storm. You played them once, you played them very hard. It was a great matchup. That seems like a long time ago now, the one and only time out of 7. Coach, tell me about Tri-City. Explain what makes them so good this year.
Oh, I think they've got offensive balance for sure. They've got depth scoring. I think their D, the Adder boy, the big right shot D there, is having a career year, 20-plus goals as a defenseman. They've got another smaller D that's an offensive threat in Zach Jones. Those two have made a big difference for them on the blue line. I think Seville and net for them gives them probably just some confidence to go for it per se on offense, because they know that he's been a pretty strong backbone for them. But then putting the puck back into their forwards' hands, which has been a very important piece, because their forwards are crafty, skilled, and maybe a little less selfless, but very much a puck possessing skating group.
Hey, you talk about that in puck possession. In Adder having that many goals, leading the team in points, is he pinching down, or is he scoring from outside, or is he jumping the play? What's he doing?
Both. I mean, he's got a big shot, so he shoots it a ton on the power play. He 5-on-5 wise gets pucks through from the blue line, which everyone can look at assists, I think, in two ways. Like, I could see a crisp pass and a tape to tape and a whatever look on an assist wise, but I would say almost half his assists are pucks that he gets through to the net off the goalie, and someone's there to bang in a rebound. So the idea that we've got to be strong around our cage and really get some tough, the heaviness in our box outs and the heaviness in our attitude towards playing defense against a talented team has got to arrive.
It's got to be a little different, or a lot of different style than maybe Sioux Falls, where it seems like they're going to play in like forward zone, not breakout. They just seem to want to possess that puck, kind of like your team.
Yeah, I mean, I'll give back to the whole Sioux Falls thing. I think their D's get the pucks. They do possess on offense, so you are actually pretty tired group if they've done their job, because you played a lot of defense. Now when you actually get possession, you're looking to change, and now you're putting pucks back into your line changing, and they're ripping back up in transition. There is some of that to try. There's no question. I think they've got a possession grind group, but transition equal. I think they're two of the better teams we'll play all year. For us this time of year, like I said, it's 7 times. It's game 2. I think there's some feeling out between the two groups yet that will build a pretty high-end rivalry here come the end of the 7 games.
Luke Strand on the line. We're talking Musketeer hockey. Coach, when you want to score against them, it just seems like, I guess, yes, either goaltender does a nice job, but it seems like they're pretty good in limiting with the guys in front of the goaltender as well.
They are for sure. I mean, I think they've got their D have some balance to them. I think they've counted on offense. Like if you look at their scores, there's plenty of nights where they outscore the opponent versus shut the opponent down. So we've just got to be on top of that part. And I think, as just a whole, you got to play like you got to play your strengths, and you can't get chased around a team and turn it into their type of team to play against. It's only in their favor if you do so.
Well, I tell you what, it's coming up, and it has to feel good. I know you got to get some points and win, but has to feel good to have a much deeper bench right now.
Oh, yeah. I mean, there's no question. I think there's just, even inside of our room internally, you can't help but notice energy swaying around for the fact of, everyone's kind of looking left and right and seeing more of the bodies back in. But now, it's a big hammer of that is roles. Like, guys, okay, so the last month or month and a half, you've had to step up and play in this setting for us. Now we're going to put you back probably slotted correctly. Now this is your job, and this is your number one thing that will make our team win. If you're a checker, you check, and if you're a scorer, you score. If you're a penalty killer, you're the best penalty killer. So we've got to get those, maybe just those things tweaked out here as far as our group coming back together.
Well, perfect, Coach. Won't keep any longer. Safe travels up north. We will see you in beautiful Kearney, Nebraska.
Amen. See you later. Thanks.
That's head coach of the Sioux City Musketeers. That would be Luke Strand. And the Musketeer Coaches Show brought to you by Bob Rose Point After, brought to you by Knife River and Sioux City Ford.